Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to do something called a nesting doll, or a matryoshka. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Please correct me. I'd like to learn. Um, some of you know them as Russian nesting dolls, but it's also known as a matryoshka. Anyway, I have started off painting my rock white so that there's a nice bright base coat to work with. And now I've used a circular lid to make a little circle, which is going to be the face. And then I'm doing like a bonnet type thing around the head. You'll see it all come together very, very soon. I'm just kind of putting what I want on there with pencil first. But if you are unsure of what a nesting doll is, take a look. Go to Pinterest or Google and take a look at nesting dolls. Usually they come apart and you pull out a smaller doll and then you open up that doll and a smaller doll comes out of that one. They actually represent motherhood, femininity. Usually you'd find ones with roses on them, and they mostly stand for femininity and motherhood. If you would like to know where I've got my inspiration from, definitely tattoos. I think they're some of the most beautiful, like vintage nesting doll tattoos out there. And so I got most of my ideas and most of my inspiration from that. So I'm doing the lower part. This is a nesting doll. This is not a traditional one. So please, if you're looking for a traditional tutorial for a nesting doll, this is not going to be it. This is Rachel's Rock style. So now I am using a Martha Stewart sponge dauber. I list the link to where I get those in the description. And it's basically just to get like nice coverage for the paint. Sorry, it keeps getting blurry there while I'm working. It's focusing more on my giant hands. This is going really fast because there's a lot going on with this rock. So you can try to slow it down and mute me because apparently I sound funny when you slow it down. Yeah, just mute me and watch what I do instead of listening to me jabber on about everything. So I'm going to close in my face here. I mixed a vintage tea rose, camel, and a little bit of white together to get my face color. You choose your face color. You do not have to pick the same color that I am. Just going on based. I'm going to use an eraser as well here. This is just an eraser that I stole from my kids' school supplies. Getting rid of all the pencil marks that I don't want. And I'm going to go back and work with everything afterwards once it's dry. So I did 2 coats with that face color using a sponge. And I'm just fixing a little mistake I made there. There we go. Looks like a nun, guys, but it's not a nun. And not that I have anything against nuns, but this is not a nun tutorial. I'm going to use my fancy schmancy paintbrush that I was given as a gift from the pink chair. She sent me a whole little case of brushes and I'm in love with them, and I don't want to use them because I don't want them to look like what my paintbrushes look like. So I'm trying to be very careful not to get it too dirty. So I'm just doing like a blue background, kind of like a sky. You can use a nice oval shaped rock from the Happy Dotting Company if you make your own stones. The larger oval is perfect for making a nesting doll. So if you don't have an oval rock, you can definitely visit Happy Dotting Company on Etsy and use my discount code Rachel's Rocks Canada, and you can get yourself a discount if you spend $10 or more. But the oval molds are amazing. So I did like a sky background, kind of blended in a little bit of white. Now I'm using a French blue, which I'm doing it's kind of like a bonnet, or I'm not even sure, like a cape. What do you call those? If anybody knows what the proper term is for what you see these nesting dolls wearing, is it a cape with a bonnet? I'm really not sure, but that's what I'm doing. So basically it's like a cape that's around her, and she's gonna have like a big gem that's kind of connecting her cape together at the front where that white area is. And then I'm gonna do like a golden dotted mandala design on the black area. So that's why I painted that black, because I'm gonna be dotting it. So I'm adding a little bit of, oh, what's the color? I believe it's violet. It's DecoArt Crafters acrylic paint, and it's a violet color. And I'm going up the base, or the sides of the cape, or shawl. Do you call them a shawl? I don't even know. I know somebody's going to tell me. But anyway, I like purple, so I'm using a little bit of French blue, and I'm blending in purple coming up from the sides of the shawl. I don't know what to call it, but I'm just kind of blending it in so it goes from dark purple to French blue. And then I'm going to do like a metallic purple leaves almost, I guess you could say. So I am outlining her face in black, separating the hooded cape or whatever it is, separating it from her face. And we're going to work with her face a little bit later. This is my first nesting doll, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't look funny. I'm very, very nervous when it comes to faces, human faces. I can do a dog portrait, but do not get me to draw a human. I'm so scared of humans. So yeah, this is the closest thing to a human that I've done, that I will be very proud of when I'm done. I promise you. I'm getting rid of the nerves just for you guys. So now that I've blended in and smudged all my black, I've got to fix it. So I'm going in to just kind of clean up the black area where the shawl or cape goes over down the sides. I'm just kind of evening it out a bit. And once again, there is a reason why that's white there. I will explain. If you saw the tutorial that I posted this morning on Facebook, it was a jewel stone. And so you're probably going to want to take a look at that video before you do this little portion of the jewel around at the front there where that white area is. But you'll see that soon. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I want to kind of do like ruffles around the hood of her shawl or cape. And so I'm starting off with black, because who can outline things that small, right? Nobody. So I'm starting off with black, and you'll understand a little bit later. Right now it looks kind of like a really weird curled wig or something, but I promise you it will all come together. So I'm doing literally 3 little easy leaves. I'm using tanzanite purple, which is a metallic purple. And I'm doing 1 little vein down the center of each leaf, and they're not even and they're not perfect, and none of this is going to be, but I promise you, you're going to love it. Now I'm just adding some little dots, just a little bit of design. You do what you want. I like to keep the cape simple, and I wanted, like, this is what I've envisioned. Keep it simple on the outside in my favorite color, purple. And then worry about making the fancy schmancy part at the front where the black is. So instead of there being a rose there, it's just going to have a mandala, a dotted mandala. So I did use a sponge so that I could get a nice circular red dot there. I believe I'm using Fire Engine Red for that. I'm doing little wishbones. Someone mentioned that my petals look like wishbones, and you're right. They do look like wishbones. I love that. So yeah, I did some wishbones, and then I did like a little swoop underneath and put a line through it. And like I said, slow this down, but mute me. You do not want to hear me like that. You will have nightmares. I'm basically just doing my own little design and going with it. whatever works. I have a lot of practice with my fine lining brush, so in no way expect yourself to be working as quickly as me. I've had a lot of practice, but my fine lining brush tutorial is in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out. I'm going to do kind of like wishbones, but they're broken at the bottom, but that's okay. We're going to put big dots there anyway. We're going to cover up that weird bottom. Big dots, big dots. I'm using dotting tools. I will link in the description as well where I get my dotting tools, usually from Amazon. I get a lot of stuff from Amazon. I was living in a town where you can't even buy underwear. There was nothing there besides grocery stores and fishing. Did lots of fishing. But yeah, like there was nothing there. So I did a lot of online ordering, and I was nowhere near Michael's or Walmart. There was a Dollarama, but you know, you can only buy so much there. Anyway, I ended up learning how to order from Amazon during those 3 years that we lived there. And so, yeah, most of my links are from amazon.ca, but check it out where you are. Just Google it. Google the name of the item and see what comes up for you. You, once again, don't have to use all the same products that I do, but I would not suggest something that isn't decent. I'll let you know that. So I'm just going with it. I did some more little leaf type petal things. Do what you want with it and then fill it in with color once the gold is dry. If you need to thin out some of your gold lines with black, do that when the gold is dry. I'm going to work on that little jewel in the center very soon. But first, I want to make it look like there's like little ruffles on her little hood around her face. So I'm using French blue to fill in those black dots, and I want to see just the outline. It looks like we went around and outlined all of those little dots with a tiny little paintbrush, but we didn't. We cheated. So I've put black dots inside those dots around the jewel as well. I'm just giving a fresh coat of red. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white. So if you watched my jewel stone tutorial, I've linked it in the description. But if you've already seen it, you know how I do this. I lighten the bottom with some white. And I use a sponge or a blending brush, which I will have a link in the description for. Just lighten the bottom so it looks like a shiny little jewel. And then you add little white bloops. I'm still using that word, guys. Little bit of white makes it shine. It makes it look like a little jewel. I'm going to fix my little white part because it ended up a little square to me. So I'm going to fix that slowly, let the white dry a little bit and go over it with some red. But yeah, that's the idea. I'm also going to outline it in black and gold so that it's separated from everything. And separated from her little chin area there. Now, if you don't want to go any further with that mandala design at the bottom, you can keep it black and gold, or you can use silver, or you don't have to do that at all. You can just do a flower or whatever. It's completely up to you. I have so many ideas running through my mind of what I'm going to do. And I will be selling these in my Etsy shop too. So keep an eye out. I'm going to do some cute little curls and start off with that. We'll go further once we have her face on here. But I'm going to do like brown hair. And I do not like her face at first, but I work with it and I try and figure it out as I go along. Her nose is never in the right spot. But the finished product is how I want her to look. So watch me make a bunch of weird mistakes with pencil and go from there. So her lips might look a little bigger than what you want at first or whatever. Just use pencil because you can always erase it You can always sponge back over with your face color again and start fresh if you need to. The face to me makes me the most nervous. So I don't know about you. If you guys are comfortable doing faces, then please somebody teach me. Teach me just to feel comfortable with it so that I can get better and work on it. It just intimidates me so much. So I'm going to do like a maple syrup colored hair. I'm a Canadian. Can you tell? I don't know that I have an accent, but I get told all the time by you guys that you can hear my Canadian accent. And that makes me, I don't know, kind of makes me feel proud. That's cool that you guys know. You can hear it. You can hear it in my voice. I was raised by my mother, single mother, and she was English, and she had an English accent and still does to this day, even though she's been living in Canada since she was, I think, 17. Maybe. But yeah, so I grew up with a little bit of an accent. And I can't believe you guys can just hear my Canadian accent. So my curls are brown, but I took my little blending brush and I lightened up little areas. You can see that I just kind of smudged in a little bit of white there. I just used my tiny little blending brush and just kind of soften out a little bit of lighter brown in there. I just used white, but it turns into light brown. And I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. So it looks like there's a little bit of shine to her beautiful hair. This is all new to me, but it seemed to work out. I'm also going to be putting like little brown lines to go down through her hair, which also gives it that whole vintage nesting doll look. So here I go erasing things again. Thank you, Landon, for giving me one of your erasers. He doesn't know that he gave me one of his erasers, but he did. But you guys know I thanked him, right? So here I'm putting just fine lines to make it look like hair. And it's all kind of going in the same curled direction. Just very, very simple. You don't have to be perfect about it. All the lines don't need to be the same size or same thickness or exact same direction. Just go with it. We're going to be adding a little bit more. She doesn't just have strange mustache bangs, okay? That's what it looks like. Looks like she's wearing a mustache on her forehead, but it's going to look a lot different very soon. So with eyebrows, I start off with like a little dot where I want the eyebrow to start in the center. And then I string it out. But her eyebrows like basically touch the edges of her mustache bangs. So I'm going in with some black. And I'm just doing very simple eyes, okay? Very, very simple. I'm doing a big black dot because once again, who is going to outline a circle that size? They are not even. But that's okay. We're going to love it anyway. But yeah, you can't outline an eyeball, right? It's not that easy. So I start off with a black dot. I let it dry and then work with the eye afterwards. And hopefully I can teach you guys something. So I'm also outlining her hair in black. It really pops like right off her face as soon as you put the outline in black there. So she's also going to have some cute little eyelashes and cute little lips. Oh, you guys are going to think she's so cute very, very soon, I promise. And we're going to put some cute little like dark pink lips on her. And I am just outlining the eyebrows just so they pop off the face as well. She looks like a moon. She has like a moon face right now. We're going to change this. She's not going to look like a pancake. She got some nice big eyelashes that any girl would be jealous of. And those are real. Those are not fake. They're actually acrylic. Acrylic paint. So I'm going to make her smile a little bit, and we're going to add some little pink rosy cheeks on her. But I'm using baby pink at first, and it just didn't sit right with me. So I ended up adding some vintage tea rose instead. Her cheeks just didn't look right. I left them like that for a bit. And I was like, ugh, I don't like it. I don't. Look at those lips. That's candy apple red from Martha Stewart. I really like that color. It really pops. She is so pretty. She's going to look prettier very, very soon, especially once I get rid of those weird cheeks. Needs a bit more of a smile. And the eyes, it's the first time I'm doing these kinds of eyes too, so hopefully they work out. We shall see. I'm putting a little bit of white on her lips as well. You'll be able to see it a little bit better later because everything's so wet and shiny, so you can't really tell what I'm doing. But here's her vintage tea rose cheeks. Change those up real quick. I just didn't like it. I'm starting her cheeks over. Like I've started over. I put the skin colored on there first as a base coat. Now I've given her rosier cheeks, and they'll make more sense soon. They will, I promise. She's getting some more curls, guys. Just a little bit. She's going to look so pretty once we're done. Same idea with the hair. I do it all in the maple, and then I lighten certain areas. And then I do the brown lines through it so that you can see. Aw, she looks so cute. Her little curls are sticking out of her hood. There, it's a hood. It's a shawl with a hood. Or a cape with a hood. I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go along. I just added more curls. So now I'm using my blending brush, getting an even layer of that maple brown. Then I'm going to lighten some areas. Then I'm going to add the little brown lines to make it look like the hair is flowing all in the same direction. Then I'm going to outline the hair so that it all pops off the face. And it's going to look so cute when we're done. I love nesting dolls. I just think they're so pretty. There's so much detail. Every single one that I see, they're just so beautiful. So hopefully at the end of the video when I resin, it gives me that same feeling that I want to see, because nesting dolls are really shiny. And so I'm hoping that this adds a whole new flair to it. Hope it looks more like a nesting doll once it's been resined. We'll just have to wait and see. And of course, I love to hear your opinions. If you know anything about nesting dolls, and if you have some, what do they mean to you? What do they mean to you? Because they might not mean the same thing that Google says it means, like motherhood or sisterhood or femininity. You know, it might not mean all of that to you. Did you play with them when you were a kid? I just know they're so colorful and just so pretty. I just love them so much. And I hope I do them justice with my Rachel's Rocks nesting doll. To me, there's just not enough color yet. I have to have more color on my doll. So I'm using a nice bright green, and I'm almost going to that black outer edge, but I'm making sure we can still see the black dot outline. I'm going to let those dry. They're very bright green eyes. Little bit of citrus green, and I'm just putting that, just a little dab of it on the bottoms of the eyes, just a little bit. And then the pupil, which I'm coming right from the top of the eye. You want to see that lower portion of green. You'll be able to see them better once they're all done as well. And there's our little highlight. Our little bloop bloop brings her eyes alive. Her eyes are still uneven, but I don't care. She is pretty. So I'm using some more of that citrus green, and I'm going to do these little wishbone areas in 2 shades of green. So the same greens I used on her eye are going in there. I'm just kind of blending in the dots so that they mingle in together, marry each other a little bit. Then it just flows better. So while I'm dotting, I'm not actually showing all the colors that I used. You get to decide for this part. I'm not using any foil. I'm sure some of you are like, yes, sick of foil. I know. Sometimes I get on a kick. Sorry, guys. I will never stop dotting, and I will probably never stop using gold. And there will usually be glitter everywhere I go. But I'm not sorry. I'm just adding whatever colors I feel like. It's very bright. We kept the shawl very simple, very pretty, very simple. And the sky is very simple around the doll. But this part here where her shawl opens, and you see this magnificent mandala on her body. That is gorgeous. I'm using some magenta, some perfect purple. You guys have seen me use all of these colors before. I want it as colorful as possible. And I'm adding some white because white still looks amazing. All in with all that color. Looks gorgeous. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I've been panicking. My numbers have been slowing down and not as many views, and it's been making me feel like I'm inadequate in some ways, I guess you could say. But I have to keep reminding myself that I'm really busy, and my kids only just went back to school since March, and I just moved into a house, and we had water leakage in the basement, and we have to redo my son's bedroom, the drywall. So, I mean, I know I can see the numbers dropping, but I want you guys to know that I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be coming back as often as I can. And I promised you I would be since my kids are going back to school. So this is my second tutorial this month, but I have 2 more on the way. I'm working on 2 more as well. So, and they're fun. They're going to be fun. So she's done. She is pretty much done. I have put a little bit of glitter in some spots. Use some dragonfly glaze at the bottom where you see it looks dark and shiny. And now I am simply painting the back black. I'm painting the black back, Jack. So I just use a sponge and I go to the edge and kind of just sponge it in, make a nice smooth, soft line going around. I don't get it on the actual doll painting. I just keep it all at the back. And you'll see that in just a second. And then I'm going to sign it and let it dry. And then my favorite part is coming. Be prepared. Here it is. Here it is. I just love this. I love it. Look at that dragonfly glaze at the bottom there. It's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Now, if that doesn't resemble a shiny, beautiful nesting doll, let me know what you guys think, okay? You guys always let me know if I'm doing okay. So I trust you. And I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been a long one. Lots of details, lots of stuff to do. But take your time, slow it down. I love you. Thank you for sticking by me. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Click all so that you get all notifications of when I post. And I have over 160 videos, guys. So just look through my videos and you will see so many different ones to choose from. I love you. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.